What's up, y'all? It's your boy Grant here, talking about the brand new Chance the Rapper album. Now, as somebody that is not a major Chance fan, like I can't lie, I have my gripes with him at times, things like that. But this album was like a really good return to form. And when I say that, I think, you know, we often like shout out to my man Jay Trent. As you know, Jay Trent, he's been on so many episodes. Let me take this out. I don't like when it's under the shirt, but he's been on so many episodes with me. I appreciate him so much. But the one thing that he says the most that clicks with me pretty much all the time is that growth isn't linear. And what I mean by that is like, Chance dropped 10 Day, then Acid Rap, then Coloring Book, then The Big Day. And that got a lot of hate. People hated The Big Day. I didn't think it was that bad, but it was bad. And then he kind of comes back, and then people call him a comeback album and things like that. But I really like this album, man, and it was goes to show, like, I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's fair to write artists off after just one dud. And even though people got like their gripes with like Coloring Book, like even then, I didn't think that album was that bad. I never thought that album was that bad. I just think it was kind of like a little more off-putting compared to some of his other stuff. But Storyline to me is like great. I ain't gonna say great, but like Storyline is like really good, and it's like such a one thing that Chance is great at. He's always extremely good about showing love to his city, and whether he features on there like Vince on here, Baby Chief Do It on here, uh, the list goes on. Like there's so much good on here, and this is like a little bit of a not gonna say a grown up album, but it's like more of like a evolution of Chance in a sense to a little bit more. I mean, his subject matter to me was always kind of like it wasn't necessarily like unserious, but this album seems like a bit more mature than a lot of his other albums. Like, hold on, give me a sec. Like, for example, BJ Chicago Kid, Baby Chief Do It, Vic Mensa, Blog Era Favorite Joey Badass, Midwest, some Midwest guys like Smino, uh, and then he's got Jay. I mean, I'm not considering these Midwest artists, but Jay Electronica, Jasmine Sullivan, and so on and so forth. But the big thing for me is like I really like it because it's concise content, content. When I say content, and that's another thing that one thing I had to change myself when I listen to these albums and things like that. I used to kind of think I should be judging it first, or like I should be rating it. Like, is he rapping well on here and everything like that? But I feel like as listeners, if we don't take the content of the album into account before anything, then I feel like we have failed the artist. Like the artist is putting themselves personally out there, and I think as listeners, we should at least give them the decency to hear what they are saying, not necessarily looking for how well they rapped or things like that. We can get to that. I mean, there's always a space for that. But music to me is like the big kicker with music is like to feel something. Like I want to make sure my audience felt what I was saying. Excuse me, the camera shake. I'm tapping on this, but I want to feel like what the audience. I want the audience to feel what I'm saying, or I want the audience to say, "Damn, I felt that," or "I understand where he's coming from," or "I'm listening to what he is saying, and I am a listener, and thank you for inviting me in to all this stuff you're saying." So, all in all, like I personally really like Starline. I don't have like a much to say from a content standpoint right now, but I really like Starline. I think this is like a very mature Chance album. Probably one of the most mature that he's ever done. But on top of that, it's like because he's talking about how he's talked about recently, like how he went through his divorce and things like that. It's split with his ex-wife. So all in all, like I really appreciate this. Everybody kind of deserves a second chance. Like asking an artist to top one of their most beloved works is like one of the craziest and hardest tasks you could probably do. I ain't saying Chance topped it, but I am saying like beating expectations is a very hard thing to do. Surpassing low expectations is one thing, but beating high expectations is very hard to do. And I want people to understand that. But I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I'm out.